Okay. Blah blah blah. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, Gemini. Just kind of want to make a statement here about uh um I'm behind, I know, but I'm going to go ahead and do the first, and then we'll go into the second here in a minute. But what I want to bring up is that I am going to plan on doing a project. If you would be interested in being involved in the project, it will not cost you anything. All you need to do is to participate. I'll be doing a video later on. It will be we'll be using Mercury as an example on this. And so, like I said, if you want to get involved, watch out for that video that will be coming up about retrogrades. Okay. Also, to say that the astrology is not general. Okay, but then in a way, it kind of is. I mean, it's just letting you know where the planets are and what houses they're in. Like right now, you can see the moon is yesterday was in your first house. Of course, it has moved since then, but we'll be talking about what happened that went on through the evening in the early morning hours. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. The moon was square in Venus. Venus is in Virgo in your fourth house, and it's debilitated in Virgo. It's weak. It has negativity to it. It's repressed. It feels repressed, like you feel like you can't maybe get something done here because this is something with the home. And for you, Virgo's ruling this. So it's being of service, but you may be repressing being of service or holding back something because you feel like it's just not beneficial in some way to you emotionally. With the moon being in your first house yesterday, we also have the moon in a sextile with the north node, so it has something definitely here to do with um, an that you want to have productivity and success for the future here. So whatever you do and being of service or in work that you're doing something here, because Virgo is a house of work. But it's also very analytical. And Venus doesn't like to be analytical. She just enjoys pleasure. She just enjoys beauty surrounding her. All she wants to do is surround herself and adorn herself and take care of herself, or in other things she wants to feel maybe needed in some way or taken care of. And so it's something here with the sextile of the moon to the north node. This is what you may be seeking something for the future, and you're thinking, because Virgo is a thinker and a worrier at times. Uh, what's going to happen in the future if I do this, or what's going to happen in the future on that? All right, now a lot of us are so kind of unsure of what the future is going to bring. Um, so there's sometimes we just hold back. We don't do anything out of fear or worry of what's going to happen because we're not sure. Um, the next thing we have was the moon squaring Neptune here as well in your 10th house. So it's something here of with work or your career or what you believe, because the 10th house is about career. It's about the point in our lives where something in our career may be changing. It's depending on your age. If you're getting out of school, there's some sort of belief you may have about a career or what you plan on doing for the future. And also, you've got to take in consideration if you go with too far ideals or beliefs or put to your goals out so far ahead, way ahead of what you can reach, keep your goals short right now. Accomplish the things you know you can get accomplished. Don't put them too far out of reach. Too big. Because a lot of people have a tendency to do this when they're coming out of college or something like that, and they're going into a career. They may be uncertain about those careers. Oh, if you're later in life, this could be something of a career change. Maybe dealing with your reputation here as well, but it's what you believe in this area with Pisces. And it can be sort of overwhelming, and there's that opposition to Venus here as well. Venus is kind of still, there's a square here with what you feel. It's all about what you're feeling right now, how you feel in this time, in this moment, and your uncertainty. So kind of slow it down. I mean, it's probably what you was feeling yesterday. A lot of uncertainty here. Now, today, we still have Gemini at 28 degrees. And it is in a quincunx to Pluto. Pluto is the big transformer. Life is changing. We all know that. Because of maybe somewhere in our past actions, from the past, things that have happened in the past, that we maybe need to going to have to make some decisions here. And you got to have the courage to make those decisions, with the South Node being quincunx to Neptune. And is this goal attainable for me? There's still those squares from what you feel. You're still going to be feeling this today. And so there's still that uncertainty. Can I make this transition or this change? Because Pluto has been really, really working on us since 2008 to that things are changing. And we're going to have to learn that maybe the goals that we had in the past or things we did in the past are not going to work the same for the future. Because life is changing. This is a big moment of life transition. We're going into this new era, and things will not be the same anymore. Also, with the moon trine Saturn, when Saturn went stationary yesterday, it has not started moving. It still has, Saturn has 2 days and 13 hours before it begins its movement. And remember, I hope you join in on this project that I'm going to do, because I've been looking at it in my own life and reviewing it and looking at dates and this sort of things, and it's proven itself over and over again. So I hope you do want to join into this project that I'm planning. It's a theory I have, and I need people to work with me on this to prove this theory. And that's how you create things. You have a theory, you have an ideal, you have a philosophy about something, and in order to prove that theory, you have to have people involved in it and testing the theory and see if it works. If it doesn't, then you go back to the drawing board. But the moon now in the trine with Saturn, trines are bringing an ease to something here, where you've been in this challenge, stumbling blocks, building blocks, trying to get something going here. And it's like something has, every time you tried to do something, something got thrown in your way. I know, because I've been going through this myself the last few days, especially this morning. And I share with you, because I'm a Virgo, I share with you that Mercury energy, which is setting in Scorpio. There's a desire to get something done, to begin to work at something here, but every time you make a move, it's the outer influence or something in your environment or other people or something here that changes, and it's like it comes up unexpectedly. And that's Uranus in your 12th house. You know, it's with Uranus and Jupiter being retrograde, it's how do I work around whatever this sudden thing that is coming up that is making these changes. Things kind of throw at you. It's like, if you're walking and all of a sudden somebody throws a rope or just something in front of your path that you weren't expecting. It's like, okay, what do I do now? How do I get around this? How do I get gone forward? So this can be sort of trying to, this with Saturn going direct, there could be a limit to what in society of what they can throw at you, or they put these limits out there that says, okay, I've got to work through this. And it's definitely dealing with this steel, with this squares from what you feel, and you feel like you can't do anything. You believe you can't do anything, but you can. You have to honestly believe, I can do this. Because I know in the past with myself, in certain areas of my life, it was like, I don't know if I can do this. I felt defeated, but I didn't give up. That was the point. I said, I had to turn around and change my thinking. I had to activate my mind to say, you can do this. You just got to put the effort in there to get this done. And probably with a lot of us, there's a lot of stuff going on right now that's trying to hinder our progress and make us feel that we can't do this and we can't do that. There's going to be people out there that's going to say, you can't do this, you can't do that. As long as it's where you're doing something good and you're going in a positive direction, not in a negative, you will succeed. But it's got to be you and what you believe that you're capable of. And going through these challenges, these stumbling blocks, whatever's going on here, you need to change the way you feel. We're not going to always get support from outside people. Sometimes we have to give our own self support and say, yes, I believe I can do this. If you look at it in a realistic way, I can move that mountain out of my way, whatever it is. I just have to put the effort in. I have to put the work in. Now Saturn's going direct. So Saturn is about work. And even though it may be slow process for the next 2.5 years, you can do this. But you've got to activate your thoughts. And don't let something hold you back if this is really what you want. You got to know that, number one, that this is what you want, this ideal or this goal you're trying to accomplish. You've got to put the effort in. You've got to work hard at it. And you've got to encourage yourself and support yourself in this. And watch out about what you see, what vision you have, what insight you're looking at here. Get into it. Find out all you can. There's nothing worse than trying to get your mind to do something, in your mind, and your body's like, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Yes, you can. You just may have to do it in a different way than you used to do it. Because I'm at that point in my life that there's certain things that I'm not going to say I can't do, I just have to do it in a different way. And it may take me a little longer, but that's okay. Okay? I've had a lot of people tell me, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, watch me. And you can accomplish these things. It's just you've got to have the courage to make the decision and adjustment to what this is of the change that's going to take place. The next thing we have, the big thing here is on later this day or last night, the moon moved into Cancer, and it became conjunct with Vista. What is Vista? Vista is that, sorry. Something here. Hold on a second. Okay. Let me go there. All right. There we go. Okay. Vista is the keeper of your spiritual flame. It represents the sacred feminine creative energy that allows you to dedicate yourself to your aspirations, your plans, and your goals. And this is going to help you emotionally. It's keeping that passion, that fire alive, the aspiration alive. Vista shows where you have a non-N-U-N like devotion to a cause, meaning that spiritual desire or cause or the devotion, devoting yourself to something here, whether it be a cause, a project, a person, or a belief that is sacred to you. And this comes in a lot to where you've got to, sometimes you got to support your own self emotionally, and don't look for others to support you, because there's going to be people out there that will not support your ideals. They don't maybe not agree with them. They don't want to be involved. Same thing with like the project that I'm devoted to doing, that I want to test my theory. There may be there are people that's not going to be involved. They want to get involved, and that's okay. They don't, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. I can't, got to be. Everybody's not going to join in the same thing. But Cancer is now going to be working in, or the moon is going to be working in Cancer now, which is your second house. What are you going to devote yourself to that you really want to achieve here about your work? What do you want to accomplish here? Vista keeps that kind of like that fire going, that internal flame that's within us, the spiritual side of us. And the energy Venus is putting out here in your fourth home, in your fourth house, which is the house of emotional, your emotional home, what you feel at home, that gives you that support. There's something here that may need to change, or you may need to, that's going to be a sudden change, because you are in sort of retrospect with Uranus, that there's been sudden changes here unexpectedly, and it's like, okay, I've got to change. I've got to do something here. I got to change something about myself because of Pluto being in that square to the South Node. I have to do it a different way. And right now the sun, remember the sun is where we are about ourselves, our personality. Do you have the right ideal? Do you have the right mindset? Are you activating your mind to sort a problem out, even though you feel sort of weak that you can't do anything right now about something? I'm there too. There's a problem here. How do I resolve it? That's the big question. And that's activating the mind to think of ways to work out a solution to something here of what you want to get done, what you have a desire for, and you want to work toward it. And even though there's something where with Jupiter and Uranus being retrograde that's opposing this, you may have to look at this like, well, I can do something different here. I can do it in a different way. Because the sun is trying the moon, the two illuminators. Something about you, because the sun is, remember, the sun is about our personality. It's the core of our individuality. And it discloses the individual attitudes and needs. And you may have to express this. What do I need to get something done? And the sun, with its location being in your sixth house, is about working at something, putting the effort in where there could be this potential of growth. And what is it connecting to? What is it conjunction with? It's in conjunction with the mind and Mars, the body, the action. What action do I have to take? You got to think through it. You got to really put your mind into it. You got to activate those thoughts. And then, right now, you feel like with Jupiter being retrograde, there wasn't some growth here, and we're all sorting that out because it's not quite finished yet with the retrogrades. When a planet goes retrograde, it kind of weakens, but it makes us go back and look at where we made mistakes. Where was not the growth there? What was hindering something here within ourselves? Or how did we do something in the past that maybe changed everything? Or what was it that came in unexpectedly? Or what was it we lost here that we put the effort in? Because remember, Venus is also about the investments that we make, our possessions of what we have. Maybe, you have to release some things here. So you're going to have to really, the thing of it is we all need to activate our thoughts for now. We can't play these little games like we played before and just overlook them and say, oh, well, oh, well. And Vista being in that sextile with Jupiter is saying there's this opportunity to be productive, to be successful. But you got to act. It's the mental attitude you have. And Venus, like I said, being in that place of feeling weak because she's in detriment in Virgo, because it's opposite where her exaltation is. She feels exalted over here. But here, she's in detriment. She feels weak, negative, repressed. And you've got to mentally come out of that. You're going to have to begin. Now is time. Saturn's going direct. And Saturn is about time. 2.5 years is going to be in this sign of Pisces. It's going to go direct. It's going to go retrograde. It's going to go direct. Might go retrograde again. I'm not sure of all the retrogrades, but we'll be seeing them as they go along. And this moon being also sextile as well, that says, hey, with Jupiter, or Vista being in sextile with it, there's going to be this change taking place. We will have the moon it will come into that conjunction with, um, it will come in conjunction, still be in conjunction with, by the end of the day, with Vista in your second house. The second house being about your heredity, your money. Could be some things there that you may have to um, look at that financially, of what you own and what you possess, and what maybe doing, cutting back on some things to accomplish whatever this is. And we also have the moon in this square with Chiron. So there could be something of your health, of that house, and what you're feeling something here being unhealthy. Maybe you have an unhealthy relationship with a love of your possessions, a love of food, love of financial things. And it's your relationship with these things that may be causing the problem. Like, I don't want to surrender this, or I don't want to do that, or I can't let that go. The 11th house is all about karma. You're dealing with some karma here that could be unhealthy. You're in your relationship to your possessions, to what you have here. And you may have to say, I got to surrender this. This is no good for me anymore. I don't feel the same about it. I'm not as passionate about something here as I once was when I first got it. Technology changes, right? And we want to keep up to date in technology, but can we afford it? That's the thing. Now, when you maybe got that computer, or you got that iPhone, or you got that whatever it was you got, at the time you really desired to have that. But now we got to get realistic about things and not be so attached emotionally to those possessions we have. I have a mentality of, when I think about what I have, like computers or phones, eventually they're going to come outdated. So why do I want to go into some big expense that is going to change within maybe 2 years? I mean, it's kind of crazy to get too attached to things, materialistic things, that won't be the same. It'll be totally different. So we have to readjust our mindset and our mental attitude about what we possess and what we own here. And that may be what you're going to go through today. That, hey, this doesn't mean as much to me. I can walk away from this. I don't desire this as much. Go through those things and ask yourself, what is my relationship that I feel creates my self-worth? If I don't have this, then that doesn't mean I'm a worthy person because I don't have all the other stuff people have. No. There's other things that's about me that I feel is more, what I have materialistically doesn't define me. If you have a big fat bank checking account, okay, fine, good, you've done great. But do I have a relationship with my money that am I putting it to a way that it would be beneficial to me for the future? We all make mistakes somewhere along the way. We get ourselves in debt. We got to work it out. How do we, we created the debt. Now how are we going to fix it? How do we save? Don't let your possessions, a lot of people are using laptops nowadays. I still use a desktop. I prefer it. Um, so what is the relationship there? I'm not one that just says, well, I got to have this and I got to have that. Or, I'm not as worthy a person. Well, that's not true. There's so much about me that I have a self-worth. I do not let everything around me define my self-worth, and I don't allow other people to define my self-worth. I don't care what they think. I know where my heart is. I know what I want to accomplish. And that's all that there is. So there's something here with the relationship and all this that you're going to have to deal with and go through and come to an understanding of what may be unhealthy emotionally for you. How much are you attached to something here and you're doing it in the essence of, oh, it makes me feel good. But it's not your self-worth. Do you think if you go out there and adorn yourself and all this and change your hair color or get your nails done or guys getting these, cars or whatever it is, do you think that's going to really, let me tell you something. A butthole is a butthole. I don't care if he's driving a Volkswagen or a Maserati. He can still be a butthole. You know what I'm saying? It's the mental attitude that has got to change. And how we act that will define us, what we're made of inside. I don't like people that tell me about me. I mean, it would be like me coming to you and saying, oh, you're like this, you're like that. I don't know what you're going through in life. I can't say you're this type of person or that type of person because I don't know what you're going through. People change over years. Some for the better, some for the worse. It depends on how they work through the challenges of their life. What was inside of them? And it really, I don't like to put people on, I don't like to put labels on people, and I don't like to put, they're like this or they like that. I let them determine what they're like. They know what they're made of because people change over the years. As they age, they become more mellow. As they age, some of them get kind of more vengeful, or they become more possessive, or something here. And you have that opposition to Neptune to really look at what you believe here. Is it really what you want? Is it affecting your reputation? Is it affecting your career? Now, on the 3rd, Friday, is ruled by Venus. Okay? Venus is getting closer and closer to leaving Virgo and going into the sign that she rules, which is Libra, and it's dealing with your 5th house. Your 5th house is all about love affairs, romantic, attachments, self-expression, creativity, children, pleasure, play, speculations. Stay out of speculating things about things. But Venus will be ruling this, and she will come into conjunct with the South Node. And you're going to have to be aware of something here about the past. How were you in relationships? Were you in a positive love affair? Was it, look at your attachments. Were they healthy or unhealthy? Now it's going to start out, and y'all gonna have to excuse me because, like I said, I've said this before, I'm blind in one eye, so I have to be really cautious at looking at something. The moon is going to start out, and this would be 1:02, and this is my time. Okay, so you're going to have to adjust. Everything that I do is Eastern Standard Time. And people need to realize that where I'm at. I'm on the East Coast, Southern East Coast. So you'll have to adjust the time of the sun to where you're at. The sun will be in an opposition in the early morning hour with Jupiter, and you can see that there. You know, the sun is still in conjunct with Mars and with Mercury, but there's an opposition over still to your 12th house. Now this will change when Mercury moves out of Scorpio, and that's going to happen on the 10th. So you'll be more into broader horizons because it'll be going into Sagittarius, and it will be going. This is where we'll get into my project that I'm going to be going into, but it will move out of that area of Scorpio, where we had, what was it, lunar eclipse at the end. Oh wait, the end of October. I just kicked the fool out of my foot. So anyway, there's that opposition to Jupiter. Something still is not. You're still having to deal with something of expansion and growth, because that's what the sun is. It's about your growth, your potential to grow and expand. The moon then at 6:49 in the morning will trine Mercury. It's already trine Mercury, but it would just be at a different degree. The moon will be at 19 degrees of Mercury, and Mercury will be at 19 degrees. Venus will then go into conjunction with the North Node, which is showing there now. It's still in that conjunction, but it will be at the 24 degrees, and the North Node will have moved into the 24 degrees, because you can see right here, it's at 59, and it's fixing to go at 24 degrees. So these two are really going to come into contact at 24 degrees and 46 minutes in. Still going to feel that sort of weakness, like I can't do anything. We got to get out of that mentality. Do what you can do. And this is your 11th house, which deals with your friends. Be around more positive energy. Communicate with those friends, and you may be having some unhealthy relationships here with those friends. The ones that may be keeping you down. Oh, you can't do that, girl. You can't do that, Bo. You know, get away from the negative people that are suppressing you. Don't let anyone else determine what you're capable of doing. Only you can do that. And you can do it all through changing your mindset. That's what this whole thing is about. We're going into. And this moon is sextiling, will be going into and sextiling Uranus. around 10:35 in the morning. Let me see. Don't want that one. I'll mess up again. The moon will be sextiling Uranus again. And see how the energy is just, it's like it is, it's like what you feel, okay? The moon is all about our feelings, what you feel, and see how it connects where it's trying to show you, or you're trying to show, I can be productive and I can be successful. And it's feeding the energy from the moon over to Venus, and it's feeding it over to Uranus. There's still something here that's outside of you, and I feel like it's friends, or it's your job, or it's your career, or you're not making enough money, or you're trying to figure out how to make enough money. But there's something that's happened in the past that you're still dealing with that was a sudden change, radical change in your life. That I'm wondering if you release something here, or if you got rid of some unhealthy relationships to either friends, maybe you need to get some better friends here that think like-minded people. Maybe, we got to be careful too, because there's a lot of people getting around like-minded people that maybe share this sentiments of of um of repression. There's people out there that love to repress other people, or they feel like all their beliefs are the right beliefs, and all of the other people's side on the other side, they've got the wrong beliefs. We got to stop repressing that other people are not worthy or they're not valuable. Every human being can or has a gift within them to help society as a whole, or even in our own little communities. There's going to come a time that there's going to be peace in this world, whether people like it or not. And if they don't get with the program, they're going to have problems. They're going to have big problems. Later on in the future, they will have some really serious issues. And again, there's that trine over to Mercury from what you feel about your self-worth. Don't let people, I don't like really getting into politics, because I want to keep this at the level of individuals. But I see so much going on right now of labeling people, or people's religion. There's too much I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. There's too much this matters more than this person, or this one is that. What is going on here that we listen to people instead of listening to the spirit within us that's been talking to us? Why are people becoming sheeps and just following an idealism, or an idol? I can't, it's not going to come out. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I can hear the word in my mind. An ideologue, you know what I mean, of somebody else's. Where is this coming from that we want to be sheep? Are people so, I mean, I really wonder, I know when I was young, it was like, there was a lot of people that wouldn't follow a crowd. They were like, no, I don't believe in that. And they spoke up, they didn't believe in it. And there was a time that, in my time, if you remember in the 60s, during the Vietnam War, people here fought against our government. And you go look up the song War. I mean, that was a big thing where people were against it. They wanted peace and love, to love one another and have peace. Where did that go? Where did our spiritual leaders go that they went and hid when there was ones at those times that were out there talking peace and love? Woodstock. A lot of drugs going on there, but there was a lot of psychedelics going on at that time. And people were seeing something during that time that was better. What happened to that? And now today they're talking about doing, mental health and using psychedelic drugs with it. That it can help a lot of people. We have the moon sextiling Venus again. Venus is still there. It's not moved at 25 degrees. The moon will be at 25, sextiling Venus over here, straight over to it, feeding that energy of what you feel. Don't let yourself get in this depressed state. And we also have the moon trine with Neptune again. And there's still the opposition. We're going to be dealing with this until, you might as well face it, folks, okay? Wake up and face it. It's your mindset that can change what is going on here. But we're going to deal with Jupiter being where it's at until the end of December, and Uranus until the first of the year. Because those will be the last two that's going to go direct. We got to cut things loose, period. Don't hold on to attachments. Don't think that what other people, your connection with them, defines you. You're an individual. You're not born in, you weren't birthed in this society. You were meant, your DNA is not the same as everybody else's. What's good for you is not good for somebody else's DNA, in medicine wise and other things. You're an individual. When are you going to stand up and say, I am an individual? You do not define who I am. I define who I am. My self-worth is not defined by you. But then you got to check yourself first before you do that and say, what have I done? What have I been doing? Have I been empathetic to other people's needs? Have I cared about their needs? But I can't fix things for them. They have to do it themselves. It's not our job to fix people. They have to want to change their life. And if they don't want to change their life and you're trying to change yours, it's like addicts. Addicts can't stay in the same environment and think they're going to stay drug free or alcohol free. because that's the first thing that anybody will tell you that is a therapist or a doctor or whatever. You got to get out of that environment. You can't go back to that environment. You've got to free yourself from friends that are doing something that are holding you back. Do not let other people define you. And I want you to look at this because it's like this trine going up to Neptune, this trine from Venus going up to Pluto, and look at the X's. The squares, or the oppositions here, the oppositions here. Opposing something here, opposing something there. In your 8th house. It's like, I feel this, and I'm in an opposition to this. It's almost like, who's trying to change what you feel? When are you going to stand up and say, no, you don't control me? When we control our children, and we're supposed to love them. We're supposed to nurture them. We're supposed to have empathy when they, when they're trying to do something, and we should support them in what they're doing that is healthy, not unhealthy. If a parent sees their children getting involved with the wrong crowd, the parent should stand up and say, no, these people are not the values that we have. Now, you're going to ask me, well, you just said we all need to be individuals. When mom and dad is paying the bills, and mom's cooking your meals, and mom's washing your clothes, you better show that woman some respect. When dad's going to work, and he's bringing a paycheck home, and you want a bicycle, or you want this, or you want that, you better show that dad some respect. Because you're going to have to get out there on your own, because mom and dad are going to quit feeding you, quit doing your laundry, quit providing for you. And there's some parents who are still doing it. And if you're doing it as a parent, I got news for you. Shame on you. Because what you're doing to that child is not healthy. And you better watch, because that child is going to go out into society, and it's going to do things that society is not going to condone, and it's going to be harder on them. And you created this little thing. Mom and dad, or single parent, you better know who your kids are hanging around with. You better know what they're doing at all times. Don't think you're birthing angels here, because there is no angels. We're all born into sin. There is no, unless there is a disabled child that has handicaps, disabilities, and they have things, and they need more extra help. But don't, just because they have handicaps, don't hold them back, because that's on you when you do. Even handicapped people can really do a lot. Don't make them feel like, oh, you can't do this. You can't. My mom says I can't do that. My dad says I can't do this. I've seen children that have stood up against that and said, no, I'm going to keep trying till I can succeed. And I admire them a lot. We also have Venus in an opposition, like I just said, that there's going to be this opposing opposition later on in the evening on the 3rd, tomorrow, of what we believe about things here. And this is about what we maybe had believed at one time. Our beliefs are going to be changing. I mean, I'm just amazed by what I'm hearing nowadays. I'm like, I just can't get over what people think and how they think. I mean, it just floors me. I wouldn't want that individual driving my vehicle or even working on my vehicle. I wouldn't want that individual to take my dog for a walk if I had a dog. I wouldn't want that person watching my child because of what they think. I mean, I'm just dumbfounded by it all. I really am. Um, we're gonna have on the 4th. We're gonna have the moon move into Leo. Okay, this is all about Leo. Deals with your third house. Is how you communicate to others. It's immutable. So you're kind of trying to adapt to something here to survive emotionally. Um, Leo is known as the sign of courage, uh, determination, strength. It's also known as do we follow other people? Are we just going to be in society and just go along with things to be accepted? No, I'm not going to go along with something just to be accepted by others. I just assume that'd be the case. I'd rather be alone, which I am, and that's okay. I kind of like being alone with myself sometimes. And we have a quincunx with the moon because now this is going stationary. And it's only going to have another hour before it starts going direct. It's going to make that move. Because right now it's stationary and it's gaining its energy to move. It's going to start working. It's going to start doing something. It's going to set up limitations, restrictions. So get ready, because it is an authoritative power and it's our authority as well. Who we let in our lives. You can put up barriers, you can put up fences, you can put restrictions on people. I mean, you just want strangers walking in your house and just taking things? No. So you put locks on the doors, right? You put the boundaries, you put the restrictions up. It's time that we say no. You don't determine what I believe in. I determine what I believe in. I determine what I have to accomplish. I look at my goals and I set what I'm going to do. People need to take their power back. Parents need to be in charge. If you're paying all the bills, you're cooking the meal, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and your kids aren't showing you respect, then it's time for you to cut the out. Until that child moves out of your home and learns that they have to pay their own way. And not being coddled. It's got to stop. It has got to absolutely stop. And this is where, with the moon being in Leo, you have to communicate. It is that about yourself. Am I going to follow people, or am I going to have the courage to go my way and say, I don't agree with you? It's okay. It's okay not to. Let's say it's okay to agree to disagree. I just don't have the same agreement as you. I don't have the same philosophies you have. Sorry. It's okay. And then there's going to be, hey, change is going to happen here. Change is going to happen. You want to make sure when you're in a relationship with people that you share something here. Now, we're not going to always be the same, but can we communicate? This is the house about writing, um, communicating, neighbors, your immediate environment, and it's also intellectual, and it forms from the lower education. It can be about short journeys as well, and it's our siblings. What do we show, or how we, because younger kids in the family will follow the older child. They look up to the older child. Some of them do, but then they get a certain age and they like, well, that person's wrong, in what they're doing. The older child's supposed to look after the younger children, supposed to set good examples for them to follow. That's where you bond with the other siblings. That's where the bond comes from. Is each one, say you got 5 kids in a family, okay? The oldest one sets the example for the next one. The next one sets the example for the others. And it goes on down. And then they bond together. They form this bond. And you'll see in military where they talk about a brotherhood. They've got to look after one another. They got to have each other's back. That's what makes a family. Having the strength to say, okay, you're doing something wrong here. I mean, I've seen where older kids in the family, where a younger kid, wants to disrespect a parent because they think they can or whatever, or, they're in with the wrong crowd, and the older child steps up and says, no, 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 you're not going to do that. Or the younger child will say, no, 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 you're not going to do that to the older one. So it's here you're going to have to stand your ground. You're going to have to be a leader and not a follower if you want the respect that you think you deserve. You have to go into the world and show you're a good leader. You're not a follower. My actions is what I want to show, because it is ruled by the sun. And it also is to have the strength and the courage to stand up in the world and show what you're made of. We marginalize, or everybody's a hero. Everybody's this. I mean, come on. Who goes that extra mile? Heroes back in my day were people who did extraordinary things. Now it's like everybody's a hero. Every little thing is a hero. It's crazy. And then you're going to have to, at times, there's going to be others that you're going to have to stand up against, okay? And protect. It's like you're not right in what you're doing. And you're going to have to take that stand and stand your ground here. What do you stand for? I mean, come on. Got to think about it. I mean, even, I like I said, I don't want to get into politics. I don't really like politics, because to me it's bullies, you know, because you stop and think about it. A politician is elected in a state in that town or whatever, but yet they go to Washington and they're not looking about their constituents. They want to rule everybody. No. And if that is what people in your state are like, I wouldn't want to go to that state. I'm sorry. They're bullies. We got to do what's right for everyone, and everybody is not going to get what they want. We have to look at everybody as a whole. But I've seen where too many of them have become rich in politicians. And our founding forefathers, they had to have their jobs too, their careers. They had to, run their farms. They had to do all this. And all of a sudden, somebody along the way thought, oh, we can make money in this. It's sickening. It is really, really sickening of what people are doing. Venus also on the 4th, and that day is going to be ruled by Saturn. And Saturn, like I said, is stationary and getting ready to go direct. And there you're going to have to make some adjustments here. You're going to have to make some decisions, and you're going to have the courage to do something here, even though if it takes you opposing something. If it doesn't serve the whole, then you've got to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. Don't let bullies. That's the thing. When you let bullies go on and on and on, and browbeat you to death down, and you show whatever to them. Back when I was in school or whatever, and we idolized, or we looked up to our football players, our basketball players, or whatever, and we looked at them as leaders. And when they saw something that was wrong, they stood up against it. But if they were wrong, people came at them and said, hey, you're doing wrong here. I don't know where people just get anymore, where they just don't stand up to things that's not right here. We have also the moon is going to be squaring Jupiter here. Later on in the evening. And you can see it again where it's the moon being here because of here some repression of Venus and whatever Venus is doing and opposing Neptune, our spiritual beliefs. Has a lot to do with Mars, people's actions. There's a lot of unhealthy people out there today. And squaring the sun, and the moon being in Leo. What are you made up inside? What are you showing? And it's in your 6th house. Remember what I said about the sun. It's about your individual. Your individuality is the core of the individual. And it's all about discloses individual attitudes and needs. And the sun being there is how this sun can help you change emotionally, given the strength, having the strength. The mental attitude, the communication. Remember, Mercury not only deals with the mind, but it sends signals to the body to do this or do that. It also is about our communications. If our mind is telling us to do something that we know is not right, don't do it. The mind is the conscious awareness, but then it can be something of suppressing something as well. And I'm seeing quincunxes here that something is unhealthy, and there's going to have to be some adjustments. Who are you servicing here? Who are you working for? Who are you doing things for that may not, that come back to bite you later on? Because I'm going to tell you right now, when this sun gets over here and something comes to light on this side over here, and with your, maybe your career, your friends, or, the house of karma and all, is going to come back on you. And this will start in the winter months. I mean, for you. I mean, we create our own karma. Nobody creates it but us. And then on Sunday, which is the 5th, the sun is going to square the moon in Leo, is where we're going to start out at. And we already seeing that. And then there's the trine that's over to Chiron. I mean, there's opportunities every day that we can make the right decisions, the right choices, but we got to have the courage to do it. And we've got to adjust the attitudes, the mental attitudes, adjust the way we speak and communicate with others. And we have to have the courage here at this time to show what we're made of. That we're willing to grow. We're willing to work towards something. I'm not a big person on ego either. If I'm wrong about something and I'm called out on it, okay, I was wrong. I'm okay with that. It's a learning, growing experience. You're going to make mistakes in life. You're going to make wrong decisions, but you can correct those decisions. You can make the changes. Because something here is, again, with that 12th house, that has to deal with karma. You're dealing with past karma. And it's time to correct it. It's time to really stand up for what you believe in. And if it's ugly and it's not right, I mean, there's people standing up for, the comments I've been hearing is like, I never would have thought that I would hear something like I hear in the United States. And I'm like, where are the religious leaders that are telling these other generation, you are wrong? It's like they're afraid. I mean, I'm kind of shocked that they're not coming out on this, calling these people out. There ought to be a group of religious leaders going to these colleges and saying, enough of this. You are wrong. I mean, I'm just dumbfounded by it all. I'm just like, what? I just can't believe all this is going on. And the Mercury being in opposition to Uranus, and it's like, and it's conjunct with Mars. It's like, you better, these people that are doing things that they should not be doing, what they're creating for their future is devastation. They really are. Because every time when you grow up and you go out into the world, believe you me, if you try to get in anywhere out there, a job, nowadays, a lot of employers look back at your Facebook, they look at your Twitter feed, they look at all this stuff. You know why? Because they want to know what kind of person you are. They want to know if you are a good employee. They want to know if you're going to be good for their business or are you going to hurt their business. And when they look at all this stuff and they see where you've done this, this is called karma coming back to bite you in your rear end. I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, on the 5th, this day's ruled by the sun. Sun's ruling the day. What are you made of? I mean, there's good and bad in everyone, but it's the choice we make that I'm sorry, but I am just I'm still I'm looking at things and I'm like, this just does not make no sense to me that we let bullies take over. When did that happen? When did that really happen? That we allowed this to happen? That we stood by and let bullies take over? Mm, 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 mm. And the moon is going to trine with Neptune. I mean, there's with Chiron, there's got to be some healing done here. Um, then the moon's going to go to 16 degrees, where it will still having that trine with Chiron. Um, it's in a square with sudden drastic changes um, and challenges. You're going to be challenged here, or you're challenging. You emotionally. What are you dealing with here? I would really like to know. What is it you feel like? I mean, we're looking at two fixed energies here. I mean, really three, because if you're looking at the moon, it's in Leo, it's a fixed sign. It's over here to Scorpio, fixed sign. It's over here in the 12th house, fixed sign, Taurus. It's like, are you so set in your emotions and being controlled or manipulated because you feel like you can't do anything? You got to adapt to survive. That is so way out there thinking that I just got to survive. No, yeah. Part of survival is walking the other way. I'm just kind of dumbfounded by it all. I mean, really. And I know I keep saying that, and I'm sorry, but it's like I just don't get it. Um, then we have the moon's going to finish up on the 5th, and it's going to be in a square um, with Uranus, and you can see it all here. You're going to have what I'm seeing is this is a day about decisions. It's a day about adjustment and having the courage to adjust something here and make that decision. is also about the stumbling blocks that you're going through or the challenges you're going through. That's dealing with a lot of karma that was created. And you're going to have to change the mental attitude. I mean, there's a lot of things that I can say here. If people have this certain mentality or a certain mental attitude, is your actions backing up what you're saying? Are you saying things to people, but is your actions backing that up? Is there something here that what you think or how your attitude of way of thinking, you got to adjust something here, because I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of unhealthy stuff here. And if you want to go on into this karmic thing, that's up to you. And if you think it's going to benefit you, nope, it won't. If you think seeking vengeance or something here is the thing to do, it's only going to create bad karma for you. My philosophy on that is, yeah, we can all go out there and get vengeance on somebody who's hurt us or harmed us or something like that. Excuse me. But I don't do that because I feel like there is nothing that I can do to someone else that the Almighty isn't going to do even 10 times worse or 7 times worse to them. You know what I'm saying? Why would I want to take that on and carry that with me of what I did? Is it justified? Let's say a woman has an affair or a man has an affair outside of the relationship. Is it right for that other partner, that man or woman or whatever, to go out and do the same thing that the other person does? No, it's not. A lot of people really think that it's okay to do that. But what does that say about you when you do that? You're creating your own karma here. You think because you go get vengeance on them, it would be all right? I've seen people doing this, and I'm like, that's stupid. You're not hurting that person, you're hurting yourself. And then what if that person comes back because they thought, well, oh, they did it to me, I'm going to do it to them, or I'm going to do worse to them. And what's going to happen? Say they pick up a venereal disease or some sort of STD. Okay? Did that hurt the other person? No. It hurt them. And what they got to go through now. I mean, that's what I said. I'm not going to seek vengeance against nobody because there is nothing I can do to them that the Lord Almighty is not going to do even worse. So I just let, it's not me to do it. All right, now we're going to go to the 6th, which is going to be on a Sunday. We will have the moon trying Mercury. Both of them are at 23 degrees, 57 minutes in. There's something here that's got to change. Again, I will say it again. There's got to be some radical change going on here for growth to take place. You got to correct some wrongs because I'm telling you, you've got karma hanging on you. And you've got to let this go. You've got to make it right in some way. And the moon is trying the north node. Like I said, when all this and this comes out over here during this time in the winter, or for the other side, be our winter, or the spring for the other, somebody's, the other side where it's coming out of uh, winter and going into spring, at the end of winter, going into spring. It's in your case because that's where this sets up for you. Um, there's going to be some difficulties, and it's going to say, "What are you made of? What are you made of?" And it's where you have you made the changes to grow here. And then we're going to have the moon here. That's going to be in a quincunx to Neptune. Adjustment has to be made. Decision has to be made. You know, and look at, I'm looking at the comparisons of sextiles here and where energies are feeding what. Is the flame still alive to grow here? And it's in the opposition of the sun over to Jupiter. You're still dealing with this karmic house. And it's going to change. Remember, the end of December, this will change. It will pass. I mean, there's a lot going on this Monday. I hate Mondays. I really do. And we will have Venus here in a trine with Neptune. Again, it's easy to change. And then we have the moon, Mercury. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. Like I said, we will have Mercury in a quincunx as well to the North Node. Remember? Now, this is where the decision has to come in about the future and what adjustments got to be made. You got to have the courage to make these decisions. The moon in opposition to Saturn. Saturn is now still stationary. Later on in the day, it will go direct. Mercury in a trine to Neptune as well. And then the moon is going to go into Virgo. It will finally move out of Leo and go into Virgo, where it will be in an opposition to Saturn. Uh, then we're going to move into what happened here? Oh, I'm sorry. I see it now. The moon is going to be moving into Saturn. I mean Virgo. It'll be at 7 degrees. There will be it'll be trying Saturn earlier in the morning. By afternoon it'll be the sun now in a sextile with the moon. At let's see, the moon is at 9 degrees, where it is in the triumph with Jupiter, and then we will have the sun finishing up the day. Later on, as it sets, the sun will be in this sextile with the moon. So it's where what you your individuality and what you feel about yourself during this time. Did I make the right decisions? I want to do the right thing. I want to get out of whatever that I'm going through. That I want growth in my life. I want expansion in my life. I want to succeed in life, and I want to get rid of the old karma, the old ways. Take charge of my life. Become the individual that I know I can be. I want to succeed at something here. And like I said, you're more than likely going to have to cut people loose and just say, I'm around the wrong people. I got to free myself from some of this stuff. Now let's go into your tarot reading. What we have here, and we'll see what is happening here. Now I haven't looked at the cards at all, so I don't know what they're going to be and what's going to show up here. The situation you've got going on, or let's look at the overall energy, because I'm kind of curious about what the overall energy is going to be here. You're going to go into something here where there's going to feel this confusion. That maybe there's something here with, and this is Scorpio energy, temptation. You're going to fall into temptation? Are you going to fall into this place of, I'm confused about what to do, what choices to make, what decisions to make? This is what defines you inside when you have that courage to make those decisions. You'll know. But your overall energy by the end of the week is this high priestess. That's something about your intuition. That's something in prophecy as well. And that's very spiritual. And that's about the moon. What is your emotions telling you? Your moral values telling you here? Let's see what your situation is going on right now. Because there's going to come a time that you feel like, hey, I don't want to, don't go into temptation. Don't let yourself be allowed to be emotionally manipulated. You start out with this Ace of Wands. Now, aces to me and pages are seasonal. It's something about that, whatever that page or whatever that ace is something here where there is about the action. Aces are action. It's the action we take. You're starting out here with an opportunity to do something or believe something, because it is about philosophy. It is about publishing. It is about the what you see, because it's Sagittarius, in that time of Sagittarius energy. Or I'm sorry, it's in that time of around the Leo energy. Um, and it's having it's about you, the individuality of you, how you communicate, what where's your strengths lie. Your challenge here, well, if I can get a hold of it, your challenge is dealing with the four wands. So there's something here with the home. Aries energy, something you desire here. Now, again, we're looking at something here in that 11th house. Ah. And for you, that's the 11th house is Aries. Something here that may be unhealthy in your relationship with others. Maybe the values in the home. Could be even celebrating something, or because it's in the challenge position, this could be where you are thinking or communicating about what you would like. You could be trying to celebrate, or a celebration about an accomplishment here. Something that maybe back in the summer that you know, or the spring that you were wanting to accomplish. Or you were planning on, you've got something here, like with me, I know I'm getting ready to start a project, and want to have, I have a theory about something, and, I've asked y'all about coming involved in it and getting involved in it, um, to prove that theory that I've been doing on myself. It's been pretty accurate. Um, but there's something with your 11th house that has to do with your friends, being around like minded people. And you may be questioning this. Do I have the same ideals and philosophies as they do? In your foundation, and that's Aries energy, by the way, you've got the devil here. There's some obsession in your foundation. This will not survive. When you're looking at your 11th house and in your foundation, in your home, there's something here very toxic in a relationship with other people. It's unhealthy. I don't know why the word gain comes to me. Um, there's an obsession here, though. And I believe there's something that I'm wondering if you're trying to fit in with others here. This is telling me it's not healthy. Whatever it is, it's not healthy. We've got the 10 of cups. Is it? Yeah. Mhm. It's what you believe and what you spiritually have here. Something about maybe your family values clashing with other people's. Because this is all about that, about there could be some jealousy here as well with friends. But then it's also, am I accepted there? Sometimes we have our career families, and then there's times that we have, uh, and that is Pisces energy. Um, which is your 10th house. It's about your career. You could be working in sort of a hostile environment. In the past, your past actions, you may have been cutting people out. That King of Swords, that's to me Gemini energy, because I feel that kings are mutable energy because they do things to survive, and they have to make the decisions whether that's the best for them and maybe their kingdom or their realm. So you may have been saying here and standing up for something. And being challenged by outside people, your friends. This could even be a bullying situation. But there is communication, and it's sharp and it's cold. And Geminis can be cold, and they can cut someone off real quick. In your future here, you got the 9 of Cups. Again, from the 10 to the 9. You're cutting something out here. To be happy. To find that peace. And it's maybe other people around in your career that you're being very, like, mm-mm. Because the situation is, are they wanting you to do something here that you're against? Not, it's not your values. It's not, it's right now. It's about you and what you feel really strongly inside you. And I feel like your values, you're dealing with something here that you don't share the same values about. Yeah, because you got the 7 of Wands here. You're taking the courage to take the stand. I mean, you're standing up against something here, or standing up for something that you really truly believe in. Because this is you holding that Ace of Wands and saying, I don't believe the same thing as you believe. I don't agree with it, and I don't see success in it. What's going on in your environment? I'm really, really curious about. You got the 8 of Wands. This is something that's Sagittarius energy. It's other people's maybe philosophy you're not agreeing with. You don't know where this is coming from. Remember, the 8 of Wands is coming out of nowhere. It doesn't show you where it's coming from. It's sort of unexpected, that Uranus energy. It's like, who's coming at me? Where's this coming from? And it could be from a hidden enemy that you don't even know. You've got the King of Cups here. Again, to me, that's Pisces energy. A lot of people would say Scorpio, but I say it's Pisces. And we've got the King of Swords over here in the past. You took some action in the past to cut something out of your environment here because of what they feel is not your philosophy or what you believe. Or if they are saying to you, you can't accomplish this and you can't do that. I mean, or they feel like they're trying, or you feel like they're trying to manipulate you emotionally or control you. Um, or if they're doing something here behind your back. Yeah, so you end up with the Nine of Swords. But follow your intuition. I don't feel like you're wrong here. Because to me, there's something in your environment, maybe in your chosen field, if you're going through something here, uh, and what you believe and what somebody else believes in, or somebody may be misunderstanding you, they don't understand it. But you could be giving some sort of emotion here into your environment. Could be the decision you're making about something here, or your past decision you've made. Because we go from here that maybe there's some sort of misunderstanding here. I mean, both of these to me are Gemini energy. And you're dealing with something that's kind of stressing you out some way. And I don't know if this is, but it has to deal with your environment here, and you don't know where it's coming from. That's the one thing about the Eight of Wands. It doesn't show where it's coming from. It may be where you took a stand, and they're coming back at you uh, for what you believe or about your faith or something here. But you need to follow this. Your overall energy here. You need to follow this. Don't let whatever this is tempt you or confuse you. Or all right, I'm gonna go with your see, you're trying to co-create something here with someone. This is all about co-creating with someone else. Uh is something about the speed of something here and also wisdom. I feel like it's a real big difference of the speed of something going. You may want something to go a little bit more quicker, and the other says person may say we need to be a little bit more wiser here about our choices, about our decisions. We need to, maybe slow down to think about this. You're either telling that to someone else because I feel like you here in the past is a decision you making, and something is really in the end of this is stressing you out. Um, because we have the Nine of Cups and then we have the Nine of Swords. You're wondering if you're letting people make you question your decisions. You know what's best for you. You're letting someone here really make you question the rain thing. And you've got the waxing moon here. So this would tell me it's disconcernment. You know what's best for you here. You know your own individuality. You can see she's got her, her hands and the sun there. This is about you as an individual. And I feel like you've got someone here that's confusing you about your decisions. Don't let this get out of hand. That's my biggest thing I want to say to you. And this in your foundation. There's something here that is not healthy in your foundation at all. Your healing card is take responsibility. Could be a lot of stuff here for every thought and feeling. It can affect the whole universe. And we see universe here. So you're going to say, okay, I'm going to take responsibility for what I decide for every thought and feeling. It's your thoughts, it's your feelings. And it will affect the universe, your environment. But you are an individual person. You've got to make your own decisions here. You've got thoughts that are valued. Don't let nobody see the universe is saying here, because I said, the card I was pulling when I pulled this is, what is the universe manifesting for you? And the universe is saying you're on target. Follow your ideal life path. But you've got somebody here that may be trying to change your path, your direction, your ideal. You know what's best for you. And you've got the door that you're going to be going through. Because I said, what door is opening up for Gemini? What door is the universe opening up for Gemini? And it's walkabout. You discover your path. You're on target, the universe says. And a sacred walkabout. The trees are your people. The earth is your tribe. In indigenous lessons, you will find the will to survive. By doing what you've done here in the past, it makes me feel like you've got people really questioning your decisions of what you're trying to create for your life. You're responsible for you, not them. It's your decisions of what makes you and fulfills you emotionally that you want. Best thing I can give on this is like where, uh, there's influence maybe with your peer groups, your friends, and then your family. Uh, that what maybe your family, what do you want, Gemini? Because this is here is not good in your foundation, and it's creating this, that you're going to come out by the end of the week trying to figure this out, and you're going to be worried and stressed out here because there's too much around you that's feeding into something here in your environment. Check your environment out. Where is this coming from? That's what I wonder. Where is that coming from? It's coming from somebody here that may want the best for you, but what's best for you, you got to decide. And you got to have the courage to make that decision and say, I will be responsible for every thought and feeling I have because it's going to affect my life. I can't do what you want me to do. I can't be what you want me to be. I have to do what's right. And I will be responsible for every thought I have and feeling. And it's going to affect my life. But the universe is saying you're on target. Follow your ideal life path. You need to inform these people, whether it's your friends, because I do see friends here in influence. Could be influence in your family life, and that will affect your happiness in the long run. I mean, it's your family. I don't care if you're male, female, whatever. But you're going to have to cut something out here, and you've been cutting it out, and maybe it bothers you that, hey, I had to do this. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it because it wasn't wise for me. I had to make a wise choice decision here. If this is for me, and that high priestess, she knows the secrets of what you feel. I mean, it's about emotional security here. And this is definitely Cancer. And it's about you and how you feel about what you own, your possessions, your money, your income, what you eat. If you want to eat healthy, hey, eat healthier. If you want to cheat a little bit every now and then okay. A lot of people try to control people's diets and all this other stuff. And, but there's something here, about what you feel. And you have to do what you need to do. And I'm going to say, with this new moon that is coming, ow, I think it's the 13th. Yeah, the new moon on the 13th. It's going to be a really an emotional day. But we'll talk about it then. But so far, the universe is saying, you're going to take responsibility. As long as you're taking responsibility for your thoughts and your feelings, and let them take, it's almost like you're standing there and saying, hey, I'm taking responsibility for me. How about you go take responsibility for you, your friends, your groups? I think you're really cutting something out here because you're starting to come to the point to where something here is very unhealthy. You don't want an unhealthy change. Nobody wants to create karma in their life. They got to do but what's best for their family and those that they care about, those that they love. But you don't have to give them everything. I mean, really? Come on. Anyway, that's what I got for you, Gemini. And I will see y'all later. Thanks for joining me. And again, if you like the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. All right. Also, if you like the way I read and you like the astrology part and everything you're seeing here, go ahead and subscribe. I'd appreciate that too. I always forget to put these there because it's your choice. I don't want to put too much emphasis. You got to subscribe. You gotta like the video and all. I'm just not that type of person. You're either gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. But people say sometimes, well, you need to put that out there. You need to put that. Well, yeah, I got to make decisions for myself, and it depends on what I feel at the moment in the time. Okay, so again, watch out for the project. The video will probably be titled "Retrograde Project." Okay, I think that's where I'm going with it. All right, so y'all take care, and I will see y'all later. And thank you for joining me. Bye for now.